I'm so used to hearing growls and barks covering curse words in this song that when I heard the uncensored version of Come Back in One Piece in the movie, it took me aback. I was clutching my pearls. Just a little bit offended. Saturday, August 25th, 2001 is a day that I'll never forget. I was at a party that a neighbor was having for some of the kids that lived on our block before we all went back to school in a couple of weeks. And it was also the day that R&B singer Aaliyah and others passed away in an airplane crash. Well, if you know me, then you know I'm a huge fan of Aaliyah. So for about the past 8 or 9 years, I always subconsciously get into an Aaliyah type of mood, whether listening to her music or looking up music videos that she was a part of or her own music videos in general. So this time around, I decided that it would be fitting to do a review for one of her movies and just one of my favorite movies in general. So rest in peace, Aaliyah, and the other victims of this tragic event. There's really not a day that goes by that I don't think about the fact that we really never got to see her live up to the potential that she was showing as an artist and an entertainer. What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the brothers Deconstruction, and I'm bringing you my super late review for Romeo Must Die. Romeo Must Die came out in 2000, and it's an action film that's a sort of modern day retelling of Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare. It stars Jet Li in his breakout role in American cinema after his appearance in Lethal Weapon 4, Aaliyah, Isaiah Washington, Russell Wong, DMX, and Delroy Lindo. There's also an appearance by Anthony Anderson and D.B. Woodside. The film is set in Oakland, California, and is about a war between feuding Black and Chinese families. It's sort of a mystery film as well, as we see a member of each family murdered while we're led to believe the rival family committed the crime. Jet Li's character Han breaks out of a Hong Kong prison after getting word of his brother's death, which pretty much opens the film as it happens about 10 minutes in. He makes his way to Oakland to investigate. This brings him in contact with Trish O'Day, played by Aaliyah, who is the daughter of Delroy Lindo's Isaac. They befriend each other because Han helps her shake her security detail, and later on, after discovering that the last number he called was Trish's shop, she helps him figure out that his brother Poe was contacting her brother Colin, played by D.B. Woodside, as sometimes Colin made calls from her shop. Poe apparently had information that could end the gang war. They come together again after Colin and his girlfriend are murdered and set out to get to the bottom of what's going on. This leads them to the casino/club of Silk, played by DMX. We find out that Russell Wong's Kai and Isaiah Washington's Mac are behind the murders of Poe and Colin respectively, as they were getting in the way of a business deal regarding the lakefront properties to sell to investors who were looking to bring the NFL back to Oakland. Side note, this is weird because the Raiders were still in Oakland at the time of the movie, even though in the film it's mentioned that they apparently aren't. So what's that about? Romeo is as entertaining as I remember it being. However, that doesn't mean it's flawless. While making $91 million worldwide against a $25 million budget, the reception to the movie wasn't great. It has a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, 52% on Metacritic, and a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. However, I also saw that it says 92% of Google users liked it. The story of the film is really hit and miss. It does seem overly complicated, and you can pretty much telegraph the fact that Mac and Kai are up to no good. Mac even reveals that he and Henry O's Chu Sing created the gang war ruse to cover up the fact that they were murdering business owners that weren't selling over their properties. This was the information that Poe had that got him and eventually Colin killed. Mac and Kai just don't look trustworthy, so their involvement wasn't really surprising. I will say I was kind of surprised at Chow murdering his fellow crime lords and that he was in on this ulterior plan. Moving on to the acting, Lee has good presence as Han and has a pretty good chemistry with Aaliyah, who I think did a really good job as Trish. And actually, both of them did pretty well with the dramatic portions of their roles. There were some moments that were a bit overly dramatic or their deliveries were a bit off, but then something else helped sell it. Whether that be Lee kind of sliding his jaw, clenching his teeth while having an emotional discussion with his father, or Aaliyah's mascara running due to her tears while talking about her brother. I really enjoyed their banter and interactions, and they're both really charismatic. Delroy Lindo also has a good presence in scenes where Isaac is being a father to Trish and Colin. Also, I just want to say, Aaliyah was drop dead gorgeous, dog. Oh my God, G. Jesus Christ, this woman was beautiful. Oh my God. They used this x-ray technique in the film a few times where we saw what happened to the body of the person who was fighting. I didn't really think it was needed, but I guess it was an okay little feature in the movie. However, a lot of the action scenes are weirdly edited and include weird looking wirework stunts. I think this takes away from the skill of the performers. I even think at one point in the fight between Han and Kai, Russell Wong is holding on to something to do like a spin kick. And it's really awkward looking because it looks like he lets go of something after he does the twist. I think a lot of these special effects made them look superhuman and kind of broke the tone of the movie. There's also some really noticeable green screen and portions of the film involving explosions or fire. So it's not that big of a deal, I guess. Just something I wanted to point out. It was cool to see Aaliyah take part in some of the action though. Going back to the chemistry between Aaliyah and Lee, there was a moment where Anthony Anderson's Maurice was asking Han if he really thought Trish was gonna give it up to him. Han even asked him, what is he talking about? Their chemistry never fully seemed romantic in the stereotypical sense that there has to be a love interest, but more on the friendly flirting side. And while that might be a strike since this is supposed to be Romeo and Juliet, I'm not gonna count it because I was more engaged with Han being on the search to find who killed his brother. There is a documentary called The Slanted Screen that talks about an alternate ending of the movie where Trish and Han share a kiss, but it was apparently not included because it didn't test well with audiences. At the time, on his personal website, Lee said that both sequences, one with a kiss and one with a hug, were shot. They ultimately decided to go with the hug because it would be a bit strange that he would come out and kiss Trish after the tension of the previous scene, ultimately leading to seeing his dad commit suicide. The hug was a decision to take it slow with Trish, and maybe it would lead to something more down the road, which I think was the right call. Now, I like the meta moments of the movie. I guess that Give It Up could be a reference to the Marvin Gaye cover of Gotta Give It Up that Aaliyah had on her One in a Million album. There was a moment where Maurice loses track of Trish and yells out in the street, "I'ma find your Aaliyah looking ass." There's also another moment when Trish and Han go to Silk's club and they're on the dance floor and she's singing Are You Feeling Me?, which is a song Aaliyah performs on the soundtrack for the movie. So these are just a couple of, this is just extra stuff that made me smile or laugh. Now, as stated before, Romeo Must Die is still an entertaining but flawed movie. If you can look past some of the more cheesy moments, I think you'll see that Jet Li and Aaliyah both carry this movie pretty well. This is Jet Li's breakout role in American films for a reason, and also showed the potential Aaliyah had as an actress. That's my review of Romeo Must Die. Hope you enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for a review of Queen of the Damned, which Aaliyah starred in and came out after her passing. Check out the other videos on the channel, and as always, I appreciate the support, whether it's 1, 5, 10, or 100 views. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. You are sorely missed. I'll catch up with you guys later.